Fetch me the marmalade. Good morning, good evening, good night. Whatever time it may be that you're enjoying this beautiful, soothing voice, I'd like to welcome you to another wunderbar episode of Requiem for a Tuesday. I am none other than Adam Pecora, customer services resident bad boy. How the hell are ya? We're taking a lax one today, ladies and gentlemen. Do a quick 30 in and out, bada bing, bada boom. It's a little gray, it's a little rainy. You know what I mean? So yeah, almost called this one off, not gonna lie to you. So hopefully the magic happens. Whatever that means. You already know that's a pre-episode bong hit indication, because I don't know what's going on. Rate, review, and subscribe to Requiem for a Tuesday. We need more 5 stars on Spotify. The stars aren't even displayed yet, guys. Come on. Write those up. Share it with your friends. Share it on the internet with your fake friends that you wish were your real friends. You ever end up following people on Instagram and you're like, oh, this person actually seems kind of cool. Should I just be like, hey, you want to be friends with me? And of course, I would never do that. I would rather never have another friend as long as I live before I fucking start asking for friends. Get out of here. I'm in high demand. You know what I mean? People look at me and they go, ooh, I bet you if you rub his belly, it's good luck. And I say, come rub it and find out, baby. Check out All False Noise by Multiplex, streaming on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, Tidal, probably, like any of those obscure ass services. It's on all of them. It goes to everything. So go listen to it. You have no excuse. It's on a thing that you have. I promise. It's on Bandcamp. If all fails, that's a sound website that it will be. So check that out, man. The re-release, remixed, remastered after all these years, finally trying to get it the love it deserves. It's a banger. What can I say? Sometimes, you listen to an old track and you're like, damn, I made this? It's like, yeah, you did. Good for you. A little pat on the back. Never hurt anybody. All right? So, yeah, go listen to that. Justice, Microwave Minutes, his show is going strong. If you want to listen to another podcast by us boys, his is somewhat food adjacent, still going with that theme, kind of, a little bit. Whatever. Listen to it. It's fun. He's nuts. It's great. And I think he's got some music coming soon. Anyway, everything is linked in the description below. Linktree/RFAT. There's links to everything else from there. It's a real tree. I did it right. There's Multiplex in there. There's my solo stuff, Wolfx in there. Although there's, as I've talked about on the show, there's a weird BDSM style, like industrial musician who just took my name and has a bunch of songs out under it. So, anything recent with some weird BDSM guy on it wasn't me. Just for the record. Anyway, what else? All the RFAT stuff's on there, so lots of good stuff. Go check it out. Go check it all out. You fucking pansy. All right, look, I'm just going to be real with you guys. We said it's a light one. I don't got a ton for you. My big episode, even though it may end up being just a little half-hour endeavor, We got Paddington 2. Can't do it today. I just don't have it in me. I didn't do the research that I need. That's a thorough episode that's coming soon. If there's no guests next week, it might be next week. We'll see. It did. I technically am still on the hook for Atlanta. That's an open promise that I have. And Better Call Saul took me about 6 months to get to. And then it ended up coming out on Netflix like 3 weeks later. So whatever. Kind of fucked up any timeline. I should have shelved it for the Netflix release or something. I don't know. But, Paddington 2, one of the greatest critical revelations in history. And I gotta say, those movies are pretty good. So that'll be fun. As far as today goes, look, I tried to watch this new Pete Davidson show, Bupkis. It's a show. Oh boy, my mic stand is not... Why is that so loose? That's not good. That's not supposed to be like that. Anyway... Wow, just averted a disaster. Turns out that my mic stand was like 2 threads away from being completely unscrewed. I guess just from various turns and such. And that would have been a disaster. Anyway, Bupkis, the new Pete Davidson show. Look, unfortunately, it's skeet. You know what I mean? Like, this is some skeet bullshit. And look, I always thought he was funny. We would come on SNL and he would do his bit as Pete Davidson and he'd be funny. I remember when he did roasts, like before that even, whatever, as like a real young guy. And I remember him being like a killer, saying like crazy dark shit. And it was very clever. And it's like, damn, this kid's that young. He's going to go places. And then, obviously the tabloid shit, I don't like it. I don't like really any of that tabloid stuff. I don't care what people do, really. I mean, sure, sometimes it's just interesting. Like, obviously Pete Davidson's fucking Kim Kardashian. That's crazy. Like, that's just crazy. But am I interested? Like, no, not really. And then, he just keeps coming up. It's not his fault, I'm sure he would prefer that he's not being written about or criticized by this type of shit right now, But, hey, that's the nature of the beast, I suppose. And look, none of that's any of his fault at all. And he did that movie, King of Staten Island. It was good. And he did that other movie, also set in Staten Island, where he's like a drug dealer or whatever. I don't really remember what happened, but that was good. And it's like, all right, overall, I still think this guy's pretty good. I put out a stand-up special, wasn't very good. Seemed like a guy who doesn't do it as much as other people in stand-up that have high-profile specials. Don't know if that's true. Don't want to knock him, saying he's not putting the work in. I believe that he's putting the work in, whatever. I'm just saying, wasn't for me. Let's put it like that. But I'm like, whatever, I'll check out the show. Not a lot going on. Somehow they got Joe Pesci. It's kind of crazy. I mean, first of all, they start the show with this disclaimer where they're like, yeah, he's playing a fiction. The disclaimer is basically he's a fictionalized version of himself. And the show doesn't seem realistic in any way, so there's no reason why they need to say that it's fictionalized. Like, they're like, some of this happened, but most of it is completely exaggerated and made up. It's just rooted in some kind of reality on some level in some places. And it's like, yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? But it's like before Seinfeld, are they like, hey, this doesn't happen in Jerry Seinfeld's life. I know that. I don't need you to tell me that. You know what I mean? And Seinfeld is more realistic than Bupkis. And like in Curb, they're not like, hey, some of these people are actors. Some of these people are playing themselves. Some of these people You know what I mean? Like we know what a TV show is, I guess is my point. Like I don't see the reason for any of that. A lot of the ideas in the show just seem kind of half baked, or just the execution's weird. It seems like they pay attention to the wrong details at certain times. I don't know. Yeah, it just seems like under thought out. Overall, the tone is weird. And I just think overall, it's just like, it's not very funny. Frankly. For example, okay, Brad Garrett's like his uncle or something, and he busts his hip, but he's trying to, while he's fucking a hooker. And the solution is, Pete, come rock this old man, so like you're his hips to fuck this hooker. And here's the thing, none of it's funny, none of it's believable, none of it makes any sense. And I'm just like, well, this is just stupid. It's just stupid. Maybe somebody's laughing. Look, hey, good. I'm glad you found something in this, I guess. But it just didn't work. There's a scene at the beginning where he comes on his mom. All clever in theory, and then it just didn't work. And the way that it played out after that, nothing mattered, and it was weird. And when they switch it up and it goes like surreal, weird comedy, and they're doing this like Fast and the Furious bit, it's the funniest part of the whole show. Shout out Shane Gillis. Is excellent in that episode. But that whole thing in general, it's very bizarre for like no reason at all of a sudden. And very funny and but weird. Like out of character with what else happens in the show. Because then there are a ton of other moments where there's like flashbacks to him and his childhood, or just like real heavy emotional moments. And those are also very effective. But when it goes like surreal comedy and then like very effective emotional, like this is definitely autobiographical, those just aren't connected very well at all. And then all other comedy in between is so broad and weird that it doesn't work for me at all. It's like CBS sitcom level shit. And I just don't fuck with that at all. And all of it's incredibly uneven. Joe Pesci's he doesn't even really get to shine. He just sounds like Joe Pesci. But he's basically all the time just like, you're a fucking idiot. Act like a man. Be a grown man. Like that's his whole job. And then just to keep being like, I'm dying. You gotta. It's like, all right. So yeah, I watched about half of it in a sitting. I gave it the old college try. I may or may not finish it, but I just gotta say, pretty lackluster. A solid C, maybe a C minus. Like, I could watch it, but at no point am I like, wow, well done. There were a couple of clever lines here and there. The cameos are cool. A lot of which it's people playing themselves. Other ones, they're just in it. Which is also kind of weird because there's a lot of like comedian cameos, but then Charlie Day is in it and he's just acting. But I feel like he's too in the realm of everything that he shouldn't be doing that. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like in Curb, they sometimes lately, I guess that's kind of happened, where they have someone just a little too famous, like Nick Kroll. When he was the waiter in one episode, it's like, well, that's just Nick Kroll. And it didn't work for me what he did, so maybe that's part of the reason why. But I don't know, you got to pick and choose who's playing a character versus themselves, and that one didn't work for me. I just saw Charlie Day. So I don't know. Don't expect much, but it'll pass the time. You're not going to throw your fucking television out the window, but you're not really going to be like, yeah, you're not going to recommend it to anybody. I think is the best way to put it. Superbly average television. I expect more from Pete. It's also just like, how many times are you going to tell this story? You know, like, I'm sorry that your life has been tragic. I get it. But it's like everybody knows the story already. So you're just doing it again. And like we've heard it already. It's like we just watch some of your other stuff and learn it that way. That stuff didn't go away. You know, you've recorded it and filmed it and it's there. So it's like, cool, you live on Staten Island in your mom's basement, but you're a hot Playboy celebrity. That's the whole gist. Like, we get it. You know? It's just like, tell something else. But that's the thing. It's like, then you just became famous. So it all just started right then. You know? It's like, this bad thing happened to me when I was a kid. Then while I was still a kid, I got famous. And I stayed doing all that stuff the whole time. So what's left? It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Be creative, maybe. Go experience something. You know, I don't know. Do one of those two things. Have an imagination, maybe. Could be nice. So, I don't know. I heard there's a good John Mulaney cameo. I'll have to check that out. So, I probably will watch the rest. That's the sound of me being real excited about doing that. Okay. On a positive note, though, I just read that The Bear Season 2 coming June 22nd. Not too shabby. That puts us, just a few weeks gap then after the Succession and Barry wrap-up happens. Hey, good TV through the summer. I like that they're doing a second summer release for the season 2, just kind of keeping up. They're not trying to switch up the formula, a la the USFL when they tried to compete with the NFL. Didn't work out, did it? No, like, oh, you're the smash hit of the summer? Keep being the smash hit of the summer while nothing else is out. You're the only new show on the block. I love it. And I fucking love that show. I hope this season is a little longer. Give me 2 to 4 more episodes. I wouldn't mind it. Yeah, I couldn't believe it just popped up. I'm like, Jeremy Allen White, what is this? I'm glad it blew up. I'm glad I was early on it too. It made it all very exciting. Well, I don't know why that necessarily matters. That's just bragging rights, My baby. I could try to claim it. I guess that's partially why. It's all selfish. I'm in a room by myself right now doing this, so you know what I mean? It's kind of all for me. At the end of the day, isn't it? Isn't it? Gobnop. Anyway. So that's exciting. Look, I'm just trying to kill time here, people. Trying to kill your time. How's your day going? Shouldn't you be working? Why are you listening to me? Get to work. There was a misguided attempt to see Air this weekend. Still hasn't happened. Turns out it's dropping on Amazon on Friday? Today's Monday. That's why I realized I fucked that up pretty quickly. Something like that. Like Thursday or Friday it's dropping on Amazon. So hopefully that means for free and not pay to rent, but that seems unlikely, so we'll see. But I would like to see that movie very much, as I have been attesting to on here. As I told Justice, the Beau is Afraid hype has left my body completely. I've 180'd on the movie, so that might not happen, folks. I know, honestly, this is a great scenario where it's like, I'm just going to listen to the podcast. It's like the Cliff Notes of seeing a movie. You just listen to the guy complain or rave about it on the pod, and then maybe that gets you going. Unfortunately, I can't be the guinea pig on this round. That could change, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Look, I'm just going to share some exciting multimedia news that's happening to me as a person, okay? So, dug through the basement, busted out the old PS3. It's in phenomenal condition still, thankfully. Also, thankfully, have a copy of NCAA football. Feels phenomenal to be playing those games again. The old ones really haven't aged well, though. The controls are very difficult. I mean, not really. The game's easy. I guess it's just difficult to adjust to the different style of the mechanics and everything. It's just a lot clunkier, I guess is all I'm trying to say. But I always liked how college football played a little bit differently than Madden. I usually preferred it. I don't now. I mean, obviously, I would rather play the current Madden than this ancient NCAA. But it just got me fired up for the new one coming back next year. Unfortunately, next year. I wish it was this year. I just bought on eBay for $3 Madden 12, which was the last version in which you could create a team and stadium and all that stuff. So I'm going to get back into that. And the most major announcement of all, shout out to Craigslist. Your boy got a pristine fucking full setup for DJ Hero. That is right. I'm bringing it back. I never got a chance to play it. Nobody I knew had it. Plenty of people had Guitar Hero. Shit, I had Guitar Hero. Sucked at it. DJ Hero, a lot cooler. I'm fully on board. I don't know where the fuck I'm going to put it, but I'll figure it out. You know, one problem at a time. But I'm thrilled to have it. Absolutely thrilled. So, shout out to the PS3. It's gorgeous, the one that I have. Like the Slim, I have one of the latest versions. Picked it up from a closing, like, you know, used video game, etc. store. I think it was like $80 at the time. Listen, people, I'm fired up. It's in better shape than my Xbox One, to be honest. Can you send me PS3 recommendations? I got Ni no Kuni on deck. I still never finished that all the way through. The new Studio Ghibli movie, I believe, is coming out this year as well. Listen to me bounce around like a fucking lunatic. But that's exciting. Hopefully that's released into some theaters nearby. Fucking Miyazaki's back out of retirement, son. Let's see here. Release is July 14th in Japan. So hopefully that means there will be a US release of some kind. Maybe it always releases later because they always do the dub when it's a major like Ghibli release. Like they automatically go to the dub first. But I don't know. That's interesting. When's the last time there was a US release? Well, I haven't looked into these enough to really know. Interesting. Okay, I'm sure that they've all had them then, because these aren't listing them out separately. So I see. So it came out in February 28th, The Wind Rises, but in Japan, it came out in July. So that's interesting. Okay, so there probably will be a delay before it's released in the U.S. That's disappointing. Can we just get our shit together at some point? I mean, I don't know. Isn't there ways to speed up this process that we really need to do it like that? I mean, I'm sure that they don't want like a bunch of Americans involved and it's not going to be like some co-production where they're going to be on top of it or anything. But like, I don't know. Couldn't it be? I guess I just talked myself into it. Like, couldn't you just get the script over to somebody and get the lines recorded this in the same method? You can't like run these simultaneously. Let Miyazaki do his thing, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. I just want to see some shit. What can I say? Again, it's all selfish, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about me. I don't know what I'm doing. Just thinking of me. Oh! Just thinking of me. Okay. You can hear me sing for a full album. Multiplex, the Yellow Velvet Rug Band, streaming on all music platforms. Seriously, you know what? Let me just take this last 4 minutes of this episode just to tell you guys that you should go listen to Multiplex. We have a nice array of music. Okay? If you go across the releases, I'm pulling it up right now so I don't miss a fucking beat. Okay? If you go to Multiplex, our first album in 2017, Case 30. What's Case 30 like, Adam? Thanks for asking. So this is like an acoustic, folksy record with like harsh electronic overtones, recorded with like room audio and like area speakers. So it's got this like it's a campfire electroacoustic noise pop. It's great. There's one instrumental on there. There's a cover or two on there. Great record, 30 minutes, real quick. Kind of your like lo-fi folk stuff. All right. Then we go to the Yellow Velvet Rug Band 2018. This is an electro lounge music concept album. It's like electronic jazz improv with drunken lounge singing over the top. It's a concept within a concept. So it has a narrative, but the music is also kind of living the narrative. So that's your like art album. That's like the long dance tracks with almost spoken word, sung, drunken character over the top. It's like the guy is in character, but the songs are telling the story instead of being the songs that he would play, if that makes sense. Next up, Negative Space 2020. Listen, this is like this is like electro punk, is like our punk record. It's noisy, also kind of lo-fi, but it's bangers. The songs are fast, they're layered well. This is kind of just the like hit you in the mouth, bare bones stuff, where it's like, okay, we got drums, synth, maybe some bass, fucking distortion filters everywhere, and we're singing jams. So that's what that one's like. That one's especially short and sweet, to the point, punch in the mouth. Great stuff. Google, that's like our fucking masterpiece. That's everything we've always wanted, all rolled into one. You got slow songs, fast songs, droning songs, fucking dance tracks, fucking vocal samples. You know, you name it, it's on there. Everything we like, all rolled into one. Just banger after banger, mixed in with some short interlude things, noisy stuff. It's everything all at once. That one's a lot more polished, though. So this is kind of definitely not a lo-fi record. Kind of same with Rug Band. But it's kind of everything combined. Then All False Noise, it's like dance instrumentals mixed with some kind of like, it's still just like dancey, singer-songwritery, fucking noise poppy, kind of like sad breakup tracks mixed in there. So that one's it's kind of it's like Our Government Plates. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of vocals on there, but when they're there, you know, they're fucking solid, cuz. So go listen to all that. Linktree/multiplex, or go to Linktree/RFAT in the description below. Click multiplex. You'll get there. Streaming on any and all platforms. As is this show. Rate, review, and subscribe to Requiem for a Tuesday. Same thing wherever you get your fucking podcast. It's been a pleasure as always. And remember, I are fat. You are fat. We are fat. Thanks for tuning in. Calculator.